Mr. James Barney Sheffield went up to the residence of Gretchen Long, who is present on Zoom today, Your Honor. He went up to her residence in the middle of the night, essentially, and stayed there for quite some time, approximately 2 hours. Now, Ms. Long had known who Mr. Barney Sheffield was because she had just moved in across the street from where he was living. She'd only been there about a week, and she noticed something a bit off about Mr. James Barney Sheffield, and that he would sort of watch her from across the street and make his presence known that way. And so this particular night, when she began getting Ring doorbell notifications on her phone that someone was standing outside of her house in the middle of the night, she eventually woke up after numerous alerts kept going off from the Ring doorbell. And at that point, she was standing there yelling at the defendant to leave her property. He did not, and he subsequently busted the door in to her residence. Now, when he made entry into her apartment, at this yelling at him to leave again, and he did not. She had her firearm, and she actually fired at Mr. Sheffield, but the gun misfired. And so law enforcement did respond. They located Mr. Sheffield across the street, and he had methamphetamine on his person at the time. So he was arrested for breaking into her residence, busting down the door, and also having methamphetamine on his person. Judge, now as you can imagine, and I'll let Ms. Long speak to this, she has been terrified. She moved into a house a week later. She can't feel safe there. And that's stuck with her each time that I've discussed this case with her, Judge. And go ahead and use this time to just tell the court how this has sort of impacted you and what you wish to see done with the case.
It's completely impacted my life. I haven't ever stopped thinking about it. Every single night I go to bed, I sleep with my gun in my bed. He had a knife on him. In the video, you can see it, that it was open. And all I can think about is what was his intention. If I didn't have the gun, what would have happened? I go to therapy for it. I mean, he lives directly across from me. And all I ask is that he stay in there.
All right, Ms. Long, thank you.
Any questions, Mr. McNeil?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Good morning, Ms. Long. My name's Rob McNeil. I represent Mr. Sheffield. I just have basically one question. How long, Ms. Jackson said you were notified by, I guess, alarm or by your Ring camera that he was on the porch. Is that correct? About 2 hours?
Yes, my house alarm started going off.
And I guess how long was it from the time you realized he was out there until he tried to come in, or until he did come into your house?
I realized he came in at like 4 something in the morning, and it was probably 10 minutes of him trying to open the door, pushing hard on it, kicking it. It's when he started kicking the door is what actually woke me up, and then my house alarm on the door actually went off, and that's when I actually realized what was happening.
And I guess one final question: had you already called the police prior to him making entry?
I called them as he was still banging and pushing on the door.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sheffield, I've known you a long time. I've known you since your kids were little. And I think you were my barber at one time years ago, maybe once. I've also had you in court here several times for drugs, for violence towards your spouse, for various and sundry things. I think you've been to RSAP before. I think you've tried the accountability courts before. I think you tried residential before. And I don't think you're a bad guy, but you do bad things. And when you get on drugs, you do really bad things. I'll be honest, I was a little surprised at what the state recommended. I figured they'd be saying 20 to 18 or something like that. I don't think 20 do 10 is sufficient. I'm gonna sentence you on count 1 to 20 years with 12 years to serve. Credit for any time you previously served, the remainder to be served on probation. You'll pay restitution in the amount that you've agreed to, which I believe is $1,440.46. You'll report to probation. You'll have the 4th waiver, provide bodily specimens for testing and waive evidentiary foundations. Have no contact with Gretchen Long. You'll not harass or threaten her. You'll provide records releases, undergo evaluation and treatment for substance abuse. Attend a minimum of 2 12-step meetings per week while you're on probation. Obtain a high school diploma or a GED and show proof of that at probation. Provide a DNA sample as required by law. You'll avoid using or being in the presence of alcohol or drugs, being around others who are under the influence or in possession of alcohol or drugs. Don't be in your residence or vehicle in which alcohol or drugs are present. Verify your prescriptions with probation. Be subject to a minimum of 2 drug and alcohol screens per month at your own expense at the direction of probation. Count 2 and count 3 will both be 3 years to serve concurrent. And on the 2 probation revocation cases, 15 CR 1008 and 11 CR 313, I'm going to revoke the balance concurrent, run that at the same time. And I'm sorry, but this is unacceptable.